Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a very quick Giants focus video today. I know less about the Giants than I do the Jets, so please flame me in the comments if you're a Giants fan. I actually am trying to learn a little bit more about this. Anyway, week 1, getting right into it. Pittsburgh, Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh last year had an incredible defense. They have Ben Roethlisberger returning from injury, but it is still a quarterback in his late 30s coming back from a pretty significant injury, and Pittsburgh's defense is elite. So the Giants, there's a way that the Giants can win this game. If Roethlisberger still doesn't have it, and that offense still sputters the way it did last year, maybe the Giants can get it. I'm not going to bet on a guy getting hurt. First of all, that's a dick move. But at least for the first week, you would think that would be Ben's best week because he's had a lot of rest now. All right, so at Chicago, interesting game. I think it's one the Giants could get, but Chicago's defense is still pretty good. You know, we forget because we're laughing at their quarterback situation. I'm not. I'm a Jets fan. I don't laugh at any other team in the league. But Chicago, I don't know. That defense is still pretty good. And Trubisky, this is the part where I get laughed at. You know, he was a Pro Bowler a couple years ago, and I still think he's pretty decent. Giants and Bears played a really great game at MetLife a couple years ago, and it went to OT, and the Giants won. I'm going to have the Giants lose this one. Could be just as good a game, but maybe same type of game in Chicago. In football, home field advantage means something. San Francisco. I had them rolling the Jets. I have them rolling the Giants. So we're starting 0-3. San Francisco, just such a creative offense. Saquon, is going to get a ton of touches this year. If you have him in fantasy, that's great. Hopefully he stays healthy. But San Francisco is just creatively coached. Giants, we don't know about their coaching yet with a new head coach in place. But the Giants' defense is kind of in shambles, and their offense is kind of in shambles, and the team is kind of in shambles. Me being a Jets fan and saying all this, glass houses. At LA, I had the Jets losing to LA. I'm going to say the Giants also lose to LA. So we're starting 0-4, and it's not looking very good. LA is still a pretty decent team, and I don't know, like, Daniel Jones, I still need to see a little bit more. Much like with Darnold, still need to see a little bit more. At Dallas, Dallas looks like they could be a really good offense this year. They still have a pretty good defense. Division games are tougher, so factor that in. But way more weapons. And the Giants, not enough defensive weapons to cover the offensive weapons. They could be running 3 really good receivers, a decent tight end, and a great running back tandem at the Giants. And I don't think they have enough to stop that. Home against Washington. Hallelujah. The 0-16 possibilities are over. Washington still looks terrible. They're provided no help for their quarterback still. Terry McLaurin, the Irishman, is a really good receiver, and I like scoring McLaurin, as Pat Mayo would say. The Giants, Saquon could just run all over them. I know Washington actually is a pretty decent front 7, but I think the Giants could get creative enough and take advantage of the bad secondary. And Giants actually have a decent crop of receivers, which I forget about sometimes. Darius Slayton's pretty good. Evan Ingram. Golden Tate's a good, like Jamison Crowder type. At Philly. Philly, if they're healthy, win that game. So the good times are over. And we're right back to losing. At Tampa, home against Tampa. Tom Brady's first year in a new offense. It might not be everything everybody is thinking it'll be. Tampa Bay, they have a good stable of running backs. They have amazing receivers, and that's going to be what puts them over because I just don't know what Giants are going to be able to cover. Godwin, Gronk once they get to the red zone, although it could be any one of the 3 tight ends they have that are all good. And I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady. Although today the Giants are Tom Brady's kryptonite, as we've seen in Super Bowls. But week 9 at Washington, Oh man, division games are tougher, and like I said, maybe that pass rush turns the offensive line of the Giants into a turnstile again. Hopefully, Anthony Thomas helps rectify that a bit. But I'm going to give Washington their first win of the year. Division games are tough, you know. I had the Jets splitting with the Dolphins. I think this is a similar circumstance. Familiarity breeds contempt. That's my saying. That's why I don't like anyone.
I thought that was why you hate yourself.
Yes. Philly. Home against Philly. Like, division game. Tougher at the home side of it. Philly, if they're beat up at this point, this could be a problem for them. And Philly gets beat up quite often. And that's not saying anything about their fans. That is just about how their team is constantly just feels like it's being hung together by glue. But Philly still finds ways to beat the Giants even when they're all hurt. And I don't think this will be much different. Okay, so things aren't going too well. We have one win. And when I say we, I mean you guys, because I'm a Jets fan, and I'll be crying a different tune at this point in the season. Bye week. They get the W. They win the bye week. I made the same joke. It's not funny with the Jets. At Cincinnati. New quarterback for Cincinnati. A lot of hype. Decent receivers and a good running back. But Cincinnati, still not very good defensively, even though last year they kicked the crap out of the Jets for their first win. The Jets gave two different teams their first win last year. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the Giants now. The Giants, I'm going to give them this one. I think Cincinnati still has to prove that it's not just Joe Burrow hype and that they actually are getting better. And I think the Giants, for as bad as I think they are or will be, still have some weapons that can take advantage. So that could be a shootout. That could be a fun game to watch. Seattle, at Seattle. So against Seattle. I actually thought the Jets in the Seattle scenario could hang with them because Seattle runs the ball so much and the Jets stop the run. The Giants aren't especially great against the run. Seattle. It's Russell Wilson. I just pick Russell Wilson when I get the chance. Arizona could be one of the more exciting offensive teams. DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to cover him? Who's going to stop Kenyon Drake? Who's going to stop Murray? It's basically the same thing I said from the Jets. I think Arizona's going to be pretty good this year. I think I have them about 9-7, but that division's a nightmare, so they still might not make the playoffs. Cleveland, like I said before, Cleveland, I think is a pretty decent team. I think they could figure it out this year. They're so talented, Cleveland. And this is Odell against his old team. A little bit of revenge for Odell. Yeah. So, 2-12. Going into a game with the best team in the league from last year. Yeah. What do you want me to say? It's the best team in the league from last year, and they're going to be good again. Lamar is just going to have such a good year, I think. I have him in fantasy. Dallas. At home against Dallas, last game of the year. Dallas might need it for playoff positioning. You know how it goes. You know what's going on. And the Giants complete a 2-14 season. And the Jets continue to be better, but who cares because they're also terrible. So let's commiserate in the comments. Jets and Giants fans. Let's talk about how the Islanders are the only hope for New York sports. Let's turn the attention to that. But if you're a Giants fan, let me know in the comments how wrong I got it, because I completely acknowledge that my knowledge of the Giants is not extensive. So, give me some heat for that. But we'll like and subscribe below. We'll see you next time on channel title name. It's my name.
No, on channel title name.
On channel title name. I'm going to go sicko mode.
But I'll take it.
Loss, win, loss, video. All right.